The people who live in Keystone's path know what happens when pipelines fail and dump their toxic payload into people's lawns. While big oil rakes off the profits, taxpayers are left with the burden of cleaning up.
The proposed route for the Keystone XL pipeline crosses the U.S.-Canadian border in eastern Montana, then weaves its way to Port Arthur, Texas. It crosses the Ogallala Aquifer, which supplies 30% of the nation's fresh water and irrigates America's most productive farm and rangeland. The State Department's discredited environmental report said the pipeline posed little threat to the aquifer, but ranchers and farmers whose livelihoods depend on it refused to believe it.
There has not been a worst-case scenario spill analysis on the Ogallala Aquifer, the Platte River, the Niobrara River, the countless family wells. We want to see that proper water analysis done.
It's not out of the question we could see U.S. agriculture destroyed by this tar sands pipeline. The risk is the end of the breadbasket. Can you imagine if that's what happens?
While TransCanada claims that there's little chance of a leak contaminating the aquifer, Big Oil's promises on pipeline safety are contradicted by the evidence in the streets of Mayflower, Arkansas.
The smell is unbelievable. I mean, look. Incredible, and that is oil.
A March 23 pipeline rupture ruined lives and destroyed livelihoods as property values plummeted and businesses closed, while the cleanup efforts ranged from inept to pathetic.
These are their paper towels. This is their solution.
Mayflower can see its future in the communities on the banks of Michigan's Kalamazoo River.
At the time of the spill, my children were at a daycare center. My son had throwing up. My daughter developed a very strange rash on her body. There were headaches, nausea, vomiting.
Our business was closed for 3.5 months. The impact financially to us was incredible. You know, how do we get that business back?
More than 2 years after a tar sands pipeline leaked 1 million gallons of diluted bitumen into the river, the cleanup has topped $1 billion and counting.
The cost of cleaning up each barrel was more than in any other case, even the Deepwater Horizon, although both incidents are not really cleaned up.
Cleaning an oil spill can cost enough to bankrupt even a thriving company. To protect taxpayers from having to pick up the tab, the government requires pipelines to pay into an insurance fund. But luckily for TransCanada, a loophole in that law puts U.S. taxpayers entirely on the hook for the cost of Keystone spills.
Pipelines carrying unconventional oil, and tar sands is categorized as unconventional oil, are exempt from paying in to the oil spill liability trust fund.
And so if we were to have a problem or an accident with a tar sands pipeline, and we've seen dozens in the past couple of years, there's no money there to take care of the problem.
Canada's Prime Minister says tar sands oil is coming to the U.S. either by pipeline or train. U.S. oil transports by train have surged by 4,000% in recent years. But after an oil tanker derailed and exploded in Quebec last year, killing 47 people and demolishing a city, that sounds more like a threat than a promise.